All right, fam, we got a very serious topic today. I've been talking about it recently on the Daily Swole, been posting about it on TikTok. Let's talk about depression. Okay, so today, fam, we got an amazing forging pillars. We're talking about mental health, we're talking about depression, and a lot of you probably have dealt with something like that. Mental health has been a huge issue for years in our country, especially this past year with poor food, with the lockdowns, all that shit. People are losing their fucking mind, and social media, everything is really coming together like a perfect storm, minus Mark Wahlberg, but that is like everything's coming together just to destroy people's lives. So first, I want you to drop a comment down below, and I want to know what your experience with depression, mental health has been, and what you have noticed or what you've experienced by doing an elimination diet, eliminating garbage foods, being healthier, exercising, following the 7 pillars. What's your experience with your mental health, and how has it changed since you started living a healthier lifestyle? If you want to join the Swole fam, check out the links down below for the Summer Swole special. There's still some big time savings. It's not over yet, so check it out, swolenormousx.com/summerswole. We have amazing programs, a full yoga studio. We have over 150 yoga classes, meditation, everything that will keep you mentally and physically in check and focused on self-improvement. It's just an amazing community. The Swole fam's the greatest, so check it out, swolenormousx.com/summerswole. This post is from Rianna, and this is some deep stuff, so strap in and let's go deep. Rianna writes, listening to yesterday's Mancast. I don't think there's a better intro to any post. Listening to yesterday's Mancast, just a fantastique. I was diagnosed as a teenager with depression and anxiety. Having a shrink as a father, pills were the first thing. Not going from a holistic point or considering that I was a teenage girl. Now that it's been 8 years since I moved out of my dad's house, and my community has changed for the better, guess who doesn't take pills for or really deals with depression? Me. Sure, I have low mood days, but doesn't everyone? Yes, they do. And especially over the last 2 years living in our own home, my boyfriend and I, getting to be outside, barefoot, and now with a dog who also loves the outdoors, my moods are improving so much that I don't even want to drink anymore. Edit to add, cleaning up my community has helped me with my sobriety. Sadly, having to take a step back from my dad and deleting other people that were just passers-by was the main thing that helped me want to get sober. Then I found Papa and you all, referring to the Swole fam. So thanks, guys. Anyway, here's a picture of the fire pit I set up yesterday all by myself to help with getting some of that sun. I can't wait to start doing yoga out here. I love this post. So Rianna, thank you so much for sharing, and it was awesome having you up on the stage and chatting the other night for Swole After Dark. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about this next time we do the private stream. So let's talk about depression. And I'm no expert. Talk to your doctor, your psychiatrist, your psychologist. People get very defensive, just the same way. I just noticed the patterns. So people get defensive about their depression the same way people get defensive about obesity. And I call people out on their bullshit when it comes to obesity all the time. And I'm calling people out as well about their depression, aka their low mood. Now, depression's a real thing. I'm not telling anyone, I always have to preface this because people say, stop telling people to stop taking medication. I'm not saying that. If you watch anyone's fucking YouTube video and you get from a YouTube video, oh, let me just stop cold turkey, you're an idiot. Listen to your doctor. You can't just cold turkey meds or whatever. What I am saying is that people with obesity, same thing with the fat acceptance and body positive and plus sized nonsense, people create their identities around these illnesses and these health issues. So if you create an account and you gain a following by being the proud, confident fat girl, guess what? You're going to lean into that. And it's not always conscious. And this is what every creator has to focus on and be careful of. If any of you create content on any social media platform, you'll notice that you'll automatically gravitate towards creating content based on what people like and based on what gets the most views. And that's a good thing. You should do. And it's also an iffy, dangerous thing you got to be careful of and be mindful of. So I always make sure to create the content that I want to create. And if people like it, cool. Then I go more in on that because I already fundamentally like creating it. If I don't feel like doing a certain type of video, I won't. If I don't feel like doing a nuts on chin, if I don't feel like doing a driving while gaining, if I don't feel like doing, then I don't do it. I do what I feel like. That's why the content is usually fun, and because I lean in. I like doing this. Right now, I feel like doing this video. So I hope you all like it. But I always make the content I want to make. And if people like to watch it and it goes viral or whatever, that's just a bonus. But fundamentally, I have to want to do it. So people tend to lean into that and make it their identity. You get identified as the fat, confident person. You identify yourself as the person that struggles, that suffers with depression, that's overcome depression, that deals with depression, but that's suffering. When you get diagnosed, you literally are getting fucking labeled. You have depression. You have ADHD. You have this. It's like, fuck you. No, I don't. It's one thing if you have serious chemical imbalances, which sometimes can be genetic, you have predispositions, but a lot of times, where does that come from? Where do these chemical balances come from? We have so many endocrine disruptors in our lives. We have so much inflammatory food. We have so much unnecessary stress. We have so much blue light and EMFs. We have so much, garbage food and, jobs that we fucking hate and lies that we're told and debts that we're saddled with when we're children in college. You're put in $100,000 worth of debt for worthless education. You're let out in the world, nothing about investments, nothing about taxes and real world things. And unless you have an entrepreneurial or business-minded parent, or you are naturally like that, and in other words, that's why a lot of entrepreneurs, they drop out of school, because school just tries to put you in a box. They want to create a factory worker out of you. And our life has changed so much with technology that people are pissed off. They're resentful for the lies that they were told while growing up, that you were going to graduate, get a good job, and have this. Fucking lies, straight up lies, and people are pissed. People are pissed off. That's why so many people are in the streets and funneling this aggression into these other virtue signaling aspects that are just tearing down society. But I'm not going to stray too much into that right now. But Rianna overcame this issue with depression. She's saying right now, guess who doesn't deal with this shit anymore? Me. Well, people label themselves as being depressed, as having depression, struggling depression, this depression warrior. But that's oftentimes holding that person back, because when you create your identity around that, it gives you an excuse. And I'm not saying that you are not dealing with something serious. Talk to your doctor. But a lot of people lean into shit that's just really more made up than anything else. They're not getting enough sunlight. They're not eating quality foods. They're not sleeping enough. They're not meditating. They're not living in the present. They don't enjoy what they do for a living. And people are just frustrated. And in addition to all the physical and chemical disruptors, people are jacked up or removed from our natural environment, living in cities stacked like sardines. You need some growth. You need to expand. Since I moved and now I finally have a yard and grass, night and day. I'm a different person, and I continuously evolve and develop into a different person, and as I personally feel, a better person. So don't label yourself. Don't allow people to label you. It's very important that you understand what these things mean and how they're usually a result of habits. They're a result of things. A lot of injuries that people have, chronic injuries, usually come from years and years of movement impairment, imbalances, sitting down, just years of bad habits. People don't get diabetes overnight, type 2 diabetes. It's usually years of bad habits. People don't have chronic back pain usually overnight. It's years of muscle imbalance, and then maybe, slowly, gradually, and then suddenly you have weaker hips, weaker knees, weaker back, and then all of a sudden you bend to pick up a pencil and boom, you throw your back out. It's not a random thing. You just have been wearing down your body gradually, and there was a straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. So don't lean into these identifiers and personalize them, because I got a lot of pushback recently on a TikTok video about depression. Just speaking facts. Get some more sun, exercise, drink some more water, live life a little bit. Now we have people walking outside in bright, beautiful sunlight wearing a fucking mask. It's like there's this insane delusion and disconnect from the reality of what's going on around us. And yes, you got to be cautious. Yes, you have to be smart, but people are overblowing everything for clicks and for views and for self views, like being obese and be like, hey, it's a positive, or being depressed, and then everything's hashtag depression, hashtag mental awareness. It's like, come on, really? All of a sudden, randomly, everyone in the world is fucking crazy. It's a small group of people that's the loudest online. The stupidest people are always the loudest. The smarter people know how little they actually know and usually keep quiet. So we need some actual intelligent people to speak up more on this nonsense. You're in control of your health. You have more choices and more control than you could ever imagine. People that are really suffering from severe issues, talk to your doctor. Don't just cut off medication, X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying that, but understand that your habits, what you do day to day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that's going to lead to positive or negative outcomes. It's not rocket science. It's common fucking sense, which isn't that common. All the cliches. Take care of yourself and stop leaning into these hashtags and these diseases and these victim states unnecessarily. That is not your identity. Mental health issues is not your identity. That's not who you are. But if you make it who you are, you give up your power to actually make changes that's going to improve you as a fucking person. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you, Rianna, so much for sharing. I'm so glad you're crushing it. Drop a comment down below. What are your thoughts? Subscribe, hit the like button. Join myself and the Swole fam every day over on the Daily Swole podcast. Check it out. The channel's right here. It's in the description down below. It's also in the related channels, Daily Swole podcast, and in the description down below, check out the Summer Swole special, swolenormousx.com/Summer Swole. Join the Swole fam. Big time discounts, 3-month annual options going on right now over at Swolenormous X. And of course, all the apparel is down below. Awesome new drops. We got Save the Taint, we got Taint Length Matters, and of course, we just have the standard taint shirt that goes well with Kegels. So go get your mildly and maybe moderately offensive gear now over at Swolenormous Apparel, and I'll see you real soon for the next video. Peace the fuck out.
We stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mo, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in Rilla mo. I said stay woke, Rilla mo. Stay woke, Rilla mo. I said stay woke, Rilla mo. Stay woke, Rilla mo. I said stay woke, Rilla mo. Stay woke, Rilla mo. I said stay woke, Rilla mo. Stay woke, Rilla mo. Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology.